I'm Trish.
I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Carrie.
And this is the Kickbutt Talent Series.
Brought to you by the Sioux Film Festival.
Hi, I'm Rebecca. In this episode, I sit down with Trish Rainone to discuss her background in acting and her advice for actors looking to get into the industry. Enjoy!
Another one.
Yes.
This time, it's about Trish. We're going to talk about acting, because apart from being a festival director and a producer, you are also an actor.
That's right.
How about you tell me a little bit about how you got started in acting and what inspired you?
How I got started in acting. Well, I really enjoyed drama class in high school, but then I was talked out of doing anything I was a little bit shy, and I don't know.
You were shy?
Whenever, I know it's hard to believe now, but whenever I auditioned for community theater plays, I would freeze up and get really nervous and do a terrible audition and look down and be all shy and like not, move properly. And they were probably like, this girl looks like she's in pain. We're not going to give her a role. It was terrible. So I didn't get involved in theater or anything despite liking drama class. And then going into university, I started to look at all of the film options. Mm-hmm. And also I was interested in acting or maybe some sort of broadcasting, but I really was interested in film as a whole. Mm-hmm. So I started to look into those programs, and I was talked out of it. I was told by guidance counselors and parents to be a teacher because you'll make X amount of money per year.
Right.
And you'll get a pension.
Right.
And you'll never make any money in film. So I took film studies at Carleton, but then moved back here, went to Algoma University. Mm-hmm. There were no film programs back then. There wasn't Sioux College's film and TV program. So I went into psychology. And then I did things with my life that I didn't love doing.
Right. As we all do.
Film was still calling my name. So then as soon as I saw a casting call for this movie, Black Forest, this very indie horror film, I auditioned and booked a principal role, and then I was hooked. And the rest is history.
Wow.
That was long-winded. I'm sorry. I feel like everyone...
No, it's good. People need to know that, film isn't just, you're born with it and it's there. It just happens. It's a thing, and everyone comes through different walks of life to it.
Yeah, and you have to pursue other avenues first sometimes to realize if you're going to put in many hours doing something you don't love, you might as well take that risk and do something that is calling your heart. Whether you might make a lot of money or not, it doesn't really matter, because there's many jobs out there where you're not going to make a lot of money and not be happy.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think that's the most important part, is find a job that makes you happy. And I was lucky that my parents taught me that at a young age.
Yeah, that's very important, because you can spend a lot of time trying to do other things, and then ultimately I think you end up doing what you wanted to do originally. So, if you're lucky.
So... After school and finally getting the film bug and getting in there in the acting world, did you take acting classes? Are you trained in the various different acting methodologies, or talk about that?
I actually took Shakespeare classes here in town with Jack Weatherall. That was really interesting, and I felt like when we did Shakespeare, a lot of the acting was being in tune with your body, as well as with the words and what the words were saying in the subtext. And then I also took a ton of improv classes in Toronto. That was so much fun. And my first year of auditioning in Toronto was extremely embarrassing. My very first audition there was for an Our Lady Peace music video. And they wanted someone with dramatic makeup, so I showed up with bright purple eyeshadow.
Oh my.
Just wore makeup that didn't suit me at all. And I walked into the room, I went and shook their hands, which you're not supposed to do at an audition, especially not now. And I left and I walked into the door.
Oh my God.
So after that, and after many painful experiences like that, I took a class on just how to audition.
Oh,
so I trained on exactly how to audition, became comfortable with it, and after that I started booking, did just acting for TV, and then as well as the Shakespeare. I did a couple theater productions because I burst out of my shell made up for lost time in high school
Yeah.
and did a couple of leads in theater, in plays, and that's where I really learned some more about physicality and that sort of thing. And I'm probably sitting too slouched for those directors right now, so
Oh yeah, I'm bad too.
I better sit up straight.
Okay, fine. So would you suggest that people, if they want to pursue acting, take some acting classes, or what should they do to get into acting?
I think if it's comedy you want to get into, take some improv classes. I think that just makes you think in the moment, kind of trust your instincts. And you can always start a TikTok, start coming up with your own little sketches or an Instagram page where you shoot little videos and just start writing. Because I think the two, if it's comedy you're interested in, I think the two go hand in hand, the writing and the performing. I would say take classes, do some theater, get to know your voice and what area you want to focus on. I like to focus on comedy. So I think I found that through, I did a play where I played an alcoholic who was suicidal, and then she was living on the streets. And then I've co-created the comedy series My Roommate's an Escort, where it's goofball comedy.
Yeah.
So I've done kind of two opposite ends of the spectrum. So I think if you get out there and try some classes, you can really get to know what calls your heart. And ultimately, I really like, as a performer, doing the goofy stuff over the, really dark things. Although I am auditioning for a vampire tonight, so I hope I get that.
Right.
Yeah, I like it all. Cast me if you're watching. No, this isn't supposed to be about me soliciting myself.
It is supposed to be about you, just not maybe that part.
Yeah, we want to inspire, not get Trish a job.
Could you tell me how you prepare for an audition? I think that's like a common question people ask.
Well, it's two very different things. If I'm going in person, I prepare by canceling all of my plans, studying like crazy, like writing it out, reading the lines, because sometimes the auditions are 14 pages and you have to go the next day, and then you have to walk into this room at a casting studio where you see so-and-so from Workin' Moms, and this person from Schitt's Creek, and then this person, and you recognize all of them because they're all on TV, and you're there auditioning with them. And then you have to walk into the room, and there's a beautiful casting director sitting at her table with all of the assistants, and you're like, I'm not intimidated at all. This is not intimidating. Yeah, so it's very, very intimidating, and that never changes.
No.
I always get so nervous auditioning in person, and I prepare a lot. And then I get in there, and there's been times where I just freeze.
Wow.
Auditioning via self-tape, which fortunately this year is the only way I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I have my little tricks where I, it's kind of more of a throw it together, let's do this, send it out there.
Do you feel less pressure with self-tapes?
So much less pressure.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you read over the scene, you just get a small scene. You don't always get the whole script. So if you read over it a couple of times, you start to get who the character is, character mannerisms and voice, and think about all that sort of thing. And then you just shoot it and try to bring life to it. And I sometimes, I said the other day with Hari how I'm not bad at, or how I am bad at memorizing.
Yes.
Which is terrible if you're an actor. So what I find helps with memorization is and I learned this through theater, is attaching movement to the words. So as soon as there's a blocking, the words will just stick.
Right.
There's something about it, the muscle memory of attaching movements. So if you really are trying to learn some lines, for an audition, you're just standing against a wall like this, and you're not really supposed to move a lot because it'll look really, you have to stay within the framing. So it's very still. You very, very rarely use your hands or anything in a self-tape. So what I would do is add some actions to it as if you were going to be on set and block it out, or add actions, which we call blocking while you're practicing and rehearsing for the audition. But then when you do it, you're just standing. Or I have a little cheating method.
You're going to expose yourself now?
I don't know if I should expose myself.
I don't think you should.
Okay, I do have a little teleprompter that I use sometimes. We'll call it that, fancy teleprompter-ish thing. And I don't want to encourage that because that's my trick. But my agent does say that my auditions have gotten better and better. And he's like, they've been really good lately.
And you're like, I've been lazy.
And I'm like, it's because I've been looking at the But it takes away the pressure.
Right.
So whatever works for you. Auditions can be painful. We don't want them to be painful. We want them to be fun because that's what we spend our lives doing as actors. So whatever method you can find to help you produce good auditions so you can keep auditioning, you got to go with it. So just find what works for you.
Do you think that auditioning is like the best kind of practice for actors because you do it so much?
Yeah,
like
I really think it is.
Like, how many roles would you say you book out of how many auditions you get?
0.00000012%.
Right? But that's the thing. It's like you're constantly auditioning. And for me, like, when I was a kid actor. Mm-hmm. And like that is the thing that terrified me the most was like going into audition. Yeah. Then them turning you down. And then you're like, I have to do this again. What is the point?
You have to do it again and again. Yeah. It can really beat down your psyche sometimes. Mm-hmm. And you can start to pick apart yourself, which is not good. And from being on the other side of it, because Rebecca and I are producing partners, so we see the other side of it. Yeah. And a lot of the audition tapes we've received have been amazing. Yeah. And the actors who didn't get the parts, it's not because we didn't think they had good auditions. I was actually overwhelmed with how many great auditions there were. And when you don't get a role and you never hear back, we're actually still thinking of you. Thinking, oh yeah, we got to get so-and-so in on the next thing, because that has the right role for them. Yeah. So when we're submitting for grants or developing shows, we're attaching often in the pitch package ideal actors from up here in the north that we would cast in the projects. So there are a lot of producers and directors out there, if you are auditioning, who know who you are and they do want to work with you. It's just a matter of
the right part,
and then getting the funding and making the project. Yeah. Yeah. So don't let them get you down. And I was telling Rebecca today, the role I have a self-tape for tonight, it's the third time I'm auditioning for this same part, and it's been over a year span, and I almost didn't send the very first audition tape for this role because I heard a ton of people were auditioning for it, and I thought mine was terrible. So I thought I'm not even going to send it, and then I got a call back for a second audition, and now tonight, months later, because of COVID, they were delayed, so now the third callback, which...
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even be here if I doubted myself and I almost didn't send it. So don't doubt yourself. Just believe in yourself. And if you're getting auditions, there's a reason for it. And enjoy them and have fun with them.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Could you tell me a little bit about some of your favorite roles that you've played?
Ooh, definitely Top Dog and Pink is In.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
What kind of character is that?
Okay, so Top Dog and Pink is In. It's an upcoming comedy series. It's set in a prison, and Top Dog is the top dog in the prison. And it's a comedy, I think I mentioned. Yes, upcoming comedy series, I said. Yeah. So it's a little over the top. Like, I got to be more over the top with this character than I've gotten to be. Because sometimes if you're doing a drama, you know, they don't want you to move your face very much, and you're trying to be really still for the camera. And with this one, it was really fun as an actor because I got to play around a lot. I got to move my eyebrows. It was so much fun. And be the tough girl and, you know, channel that person who wanted to beat me up in high school. Right. I got to channel that type of character. That was fun. Afterwards, I was like, oh, yeah. You leave with a bit of I don't know, I can't help but take a bit of a piece of each character with me. So when I got pulled over a couple weeks later, I was like, oh yeah, she was afraid of the top dog.
Speaking of like pieces of characters, do you find that all your characters have a piece of you? Like, you're like ingesting part of your personality into your characters?
Yeah, in different parts, because I think we all have different, our cheerier times or, they're all kind of, you have to bring a piece of you to them or else they won't be believable and you won't want to play it because you have to kind of mesh yourself in with the character.
So where would you get inspiration for playing top dog? Like,
well, I have 3 sisters and I was in the middle. And if I wanted to wear designer jeans, I could work really hard in high school and get the money to buy them, or I could just bully my sister and take hers. That's where.
Your poor sisters.
Yeah, poor girls.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they're really nice.
So are you acting in anything coming up?
Well, one of the most important things to do as an actor, I think, is to self-produce so that you have ongoing roles and you're not waiting around. So we are shooting some shorts, coffee shop shorts, and we're doing it as a collective with a team of people in Sault Ste. Marie where we're all getting a chance to act or direct or do art department or sound. Yeah. So it's kind of a training opportunity for everyone to try out positions they haven't tried out before. So we'll be shooting those this winter. Yeah. And I'm sure at some point I'll play a part on camera and
probably
I might be doing a moonwalk.
you might be.
But I have not signed the dotted line on that one.
She will. She has no choice.
Okay, let's see if I can do it. I better work on that.
I think you need some practice.
Just practice.
Do you have anything else you want to talk to us about acting or?
I would say that if you want to try it out, just try it out. Put yourself out there and message people and say, hey, let's collaborate, let's shoot something, write sketches. You can shoot anything on your cell phone these days. So just try it out and don't be discouraged like I was for so many years. And believe in yourself. Don't get down when you don't get auditions or when you don't get a role.
Yeah, I think that's the most important part.
Yeah, to have fun with it. You do it because you love it.
Yeah.
It's not something you would ever choose to do if you didn't love. So it's a very passionate thing to be doing with your life and, just go for it.
Cool. Well, on that note,
yes,
let's wrap it up.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for having it.
Thanks for the questions.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Goodbye.
Thanks.
Thanks for listening. Tune in next week for another episode of the Kickbutt Talent Series.